Today we're going to review the Oracle Jet by Breville or by Sage, depending on where you live in the world. And I have been using this machine extensively over the last 2 weeks. I've been doing temperature tests. I have adjusted the dose here. I've done a whole lot of testing with the automatic milk frothing. I've even opened up the top here and had a look inside. So we're going to get to all those points throughout this video. But I thought, let's just start by getting a basic overview of the machine. So first of all, you can see it's got a nice looking screen here on top. It has a nice resolution, good colors. I can even see it from here, so also very good viewing angle. There's only one button on here to turn it on, so all your interactions are with the screen. And I find that both good and bad. On the one hand, for the good, it makes things easier as far as the animations are concerned, the barista guidance, showing you how to clean the steam wand, how to back flush, how to descale, all that stuff is made much easier with the touchscreen. However, I also kind of prefer just haptic use of a machine myself. So that means for me, it's just kind of nice if I have a few different buttons to press to start the different processes. But this is what you got, is the touchscreen here. You fill up the water on the top here. There is a funnel that goes down into the water tank in the back. On the top, you've got your bean hopper, which you can remove like so, and it closes to lock the beans in place. You'll notice it says Baratza on there. It's got the new Baratza burrs inside. But I think what's really the most interesting is to look kind of at towards the bottom here. What is going on this machine? So first of all, it grinds down into the chute area. It distributes with a spinner. It even tamps as the grounds are coming from the bottom up towards the top. It's got a sensor to feel the pressure. And then it polishes at the end. Pretty crazy. So we got automatic puck prep going on here. We got, what I love about this machine are two lights here, two LED lights. Really, really nice so that you can see what you're doing. I love that. It has got a 58mm portafilter. And yes, it is feeling warm. At this point, you need to have this machine on for quite a long time before this becomes warm. So this machine does come with two thermojets, one big one for doing your espresso extraction, and one little guy in here underneath the brew group, right underneath the shower screen, that just kind of warms that area up there. And it takes a while before that warms up this whole big portafilter. So this thermojet here is very small, and it only uses, I think, 25 watts in comparison to the large thermojet inside for the extraction, which takes about 1300 watts. But that's what we got going on here is a 58mm brew group, and underneath this stainless steel shower screen is a plastic cap as like a distribution cap. I'm not sure why that's plastic, but that's what it is. And I think it should be mentioned because a lot of people are concerned a bit about plastic. You've got a water spout here, which is very nice. We'll try that out later when we're making ourselves a drink. And here you got yourself a steam wand that just goes up and down. So up like this is manual mode, down like this is automatic mode. It has got here right in the tip a temperature probe. And I do find that this works really well for steaming manually, although the shaft is quite thick. Steaming automatically does not work very well for me at all, except for maybe making really thick milk foam, but for latte art, forget about it. Disclaimer, I ought to say that Sage did send me this machine for review. I'm not getting any payment for making this video or videos. With that being the case, I'm still going to give you my honest opinions on how it does, and you're going to see that through the pros and cons of this video. That is the bottom of the machine. Let's have a look here at the drip tray. So the drip tray looks like it's a pretty good size, but honestly, I've got to dump this sucker every day. This machine is a water hog. I'm filling it up pretty much every day as well. So it really goes through a lot of water because it is not a dual boiler. Many people ask, is this a dual boiler because it's got two thermojets? No, 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 no. It is not. So anyway, this is the drip tray here. It's nice to clean off. I mean, it's like every Breville product. They make all the surfaces nice and smooth, beveled, so that you can just run a rag right over it. It is a dream to clean. Oh yeah. Inside, you've also got this little area here, so you got some tools. This machine does come with a double basket. It comes with a single basket. The back flushing disc. It comes with this goofy looking tool. It's got a magnet on the end. That is for removing this spinner tool here. And the spinner tool is what spins around and it distributes your grounds, and eventually as the grounds pack up into your basket, you know, they're falling down in there. This is turning, and eventually there's enough resistance from the bottom pushing towards the top. There's a sensor above the spindle here, and then it stops grinding and spins to polish the puck. It's really neat. But you'll notice that I got two baskets here, and I've got as well a basket in here. This one I bought, and this one is not as deep. So this is an IMS basket, and in this one I'm able to get 18 grams. In the one that comes with the machine at the default setting, this one does 22 grams. That's too much for me. I've got a whole new video coming soon about how to adjust this thing to dose how you want. What else have you got here? You got a little pokey tool for cleaning out your steam wand, and you've got a little 2mm Allen wrench so that you can adjust the dose. Now, before we take a look at the entire machine from all sides, what I want to do is show you a cool function that you can do with this machine. You can purge all three functions. So if you stick your portafilter here into the auto puck prep area, and if you choose a drink, for example, let's choose a latte. If you double click here, it's going to purge. So that's good if you're just starting up in the morning to get any kind of old grounds out of there. What it does is it purges out about 3 grams of coffee beans there. It will also purge the brew group if you double click there. Very nice. And finally, if you double click here on the milk pitcher, it's going to purge the steam wand. All right, let's unplug the machine and take a look from all sides. So this is a really cool thing. If you flip this lever here on the bottom, you can wheel this guy all around. So that makes cleaning underneath very nice. This is the side here, and what you'll notice is that you've got a cord storage here, which is pretty sweet. You can stuff that up in there. It does not automatically retract, but hey, you can hide some of the cord, which is a nice thing. Let's have a look here in the back. If you flip this lever here, remove the water tank. So that's what the water tank looks like right there. Let's look at the other side. And so you see on this side here, we've got our grinder adjustment. Now the grinder adjustment is interesting because it is not stepped. It's a stepless grind. And actually what you've got going on here is you've got a tooth belt that is attached to some gears that changes the grind size here on the grinder. It does have an encoder here, so it shows you in which area you are. Let's have a look at the bottom ones. All right, so here you can see the bottom, and this is how that assembly works. It lifts. This actually extends out. As you push this to the left, that extends out and lifts the front feet up. And in the back, you got 2 rollers, designed and engineered in Australia, made in China. And let's have a look at the top. So that's what the top looks like right there. This is where you put the water inside, and it goes on a funnel down into this area here where the water tank resides.
Getting value from this video? Please take a moment to like and subscribe.
All right, before we go any further, let's actually have some fun and do a few measurements, because this machine, one of the things about it is that it's super energy efficient. I've used this for 2 weeks and I've only used 3 kilowatt hours. So that's cost me so far about $1 in 2 weeks, which means it would cost me about, what, $24 for the entire year. When you turn it on, we use just 4 or 5 watts. So anyway, we're at 27 watts right now, and that 27 watts minus 5, so let's say 22 watts, is going to be actually for this little thermojet heater here underneath the shower screen. So that's just a really little guy. Let's do a grinder purge and see how many watts the grinder takes. So the spinner brings it up to about 40 watts, and then it goes up to about 140 watts when it's actually grinding. So the grinder, I think, takes about 100 watts. Now let's pull a shot. So here we got that's about 1300 watts there for using the big thermojet inside the machine. Now this is interesting. Let me show you something. There's also cold drinks on here. So what it does for the cold drinks is it completely bypasses the thermojet, and you'll just see actually the pump, which is right around, I think, 40 or 50 watts. Just 65 watts there on the cold drink. So what that is just the pump itself and the operating system here. It's bypassing the thermojet. Let's see about steam. Okay, so there you see it pivots in between 400 and 1300 watts for the steaming. Now let's move on and make some drinks. All right, so I've actually done a couple of shots off camera because this machine gets better, gets more consistent with the temperature, makes better shots as it's made a few. So I'm talking 3, 4, 5 shots, it gets better. Better texture, better sweetness, better shots all around. And maybe part of that is because this portafilter is heavy and it's got a good amount of thermal mass, and that needs to get warmed up. Now, one thing I don't like so much about these big 58mm portafilters is that the knockouts are not very easy. Okay, that time just twice. But I'm used to, with smaller portafilters, I can just go, I don't even have to knock it. I can just kind of flick it out. But anyway, let's go ahead and make ourselves a shot. Now, one thing that I really love about this machine is the automatic puck prep. So easy, so convenient. So what it does is it spins first in one direction, and I think that it's either looking to empty the chute or to make sure that there's nothing already in the portafilter. Then it starts grinding and it spins the other direction, and at the end, after grinding, it polishes the puck. Tamps and polishes. It's really cool. So that's what the puck looks like right there. Let's see. What do we get? 19.0 grams. Blow it off, and that's actually a very nice, clean puck. 18.9 grams. Okay, that is a pretty good dose for me. I got the spindle inside set up actually to about 17.7 grams in the beginning, and it seems to slowly creep up to 18.0, 18.3, 18.5. It might have one that comes a little bit down, back to 18.0 once in a while, so it's a little inconsistent in the grind weight. And also, as you get fewer and fewer beans, you're going to get also less grind weight. But considering how convenient it is, I'm okay with that. All right, here we go. I'm gonna try a double shot, which means it's gonna aim for 60 grams. And I'm gonna stop it whenever I want. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. So this is a little bit of on the darker side of the medium roast, so I'm gonna stop it right there at about 35 grams. It's just slightly below a 1-to-2 ratio. And that's our shot right there. Looks pretty good. How's the taste? Honestly, it's not the best one that I've ever made. I think I'd have to make a couple more shots with this. But what I'm able to get if I do several shots, 3, 4, 5 shots, is a really nice, beautifully silky texture, amazing kind of like God shot kind of texture. Also, and as far as the taste is concerned, good balance, good sweetness. But this one, although good, it's not as good as what this machine can do. But again, like I said, 3, 4, 5 shots, that's where you start to hit the sweet spot. One thing I will say for this puck knockout box that comes with the Oracle Jet is that it's pretty nice in that it seems like the pucks don't really mold inside there. And I don't know if that's because the pucks are just more dry coming out of this machine because of the automatic puck prep, or if it has to do with the kind of plastic lining that's in here, but that's pretty nice. Let's move on and do a cappuccino. And we're gonna try automatic milk steaming and then manual milk steaming. You just don't know how convenient it is for me as a tester to have the automatic puck prep. That is awesome. For the cappuccino, I got dairy milk. I'm gonna put the microfoam at the default, which is 5. And I don't like it so hot. 65 is really too hot. I'm gonna put it down to 60. And what you can do is, you can start your shot and you can get this queued up. Let's start the shot. And now we got our milk queued up. Oh yeah, that's what I call drip. Okay, we're at 25 grams. I'm gonna stop it at, let's say 30. Okay, and now let's see what happens with the milk foam. So what it does first is with an air pump, it injects a whole bunch of air into the milk. You can see the milk level rising. And then what it's supposed to do is incorporate and keep heating up until the right temperature. But essentially what you see is it doesn't incorporate. You might get just a little roll in one part of the pitcher, but it's supposed to do this. It's supposed to have a whirlpool going round and round. And I have tried absolutely every position that I can with the milk pitcher. I have tried different size milk pitchers. I've tried different types of milk. I just can't get a roll going in this machine. And therefore it's really not good, in my experience, for latte art. You don't get silky microfoam, but it does make pretty good foam for, let's say, a cappuccino, or like a traditional Italian cappuccino, or like a latte macchiato. For that, it's fine. And actually, in this example, didn't do too bad. Of course, my latte art skills, a whole nother story. Oh yeah, let's see. It's just too frothy at the top. It's too frothy. I can eke out a little heart, but you see a ton of bubbles at the top, and it's not real microfoam. So I hate to say it, but I've tried at least 50 times. I have not gotten microfoam from this machine in the automatic mode. On the other hand, with the manual mode, it does a great job. So let's go ahead and try in the manual mode. And the manual mode is great. You get such a nice swirl. You have complete control over it. It just works way better. And considering how easy it is to do, I'm gonna turn this guy towards me a little bit. Yeah, let's give this a shot. Do you see how the milk is turning like that? It's supposed to turn like a whirlpool. Or that's how you get that aerated milk to incorporate and become more homogeneous. Okay, it's plenty hot. So again, I am not a latte art expert, but this is creamy milk. And so no matter what kind of design you pour or don't pour, it's going to taste at least really good and really creamy and really silky. Okay. So there you can tell, I think, quite a difference in the texture between these two designs. This is the automatic milk froth one, and this is the manually milk frothed. It's just way, way, way better to do it manually. And the thing is about this machine, and about really Breville machines in general, these steam ones are really good in manual mode. They give you more than enough power, but not too much power, so that you have enough time to get that swirl going nicely. It automatically injects a lot of air for you, makes things easy. But yeah, you gotta do it in manual mode. Let's just take a quick sip of this one. Is that creamy. Now, one thing this machine does that all the other Brevilles don't do is it does also cold drinks. So if we go ahead and choose cold espresso. Cold espresso requires a finer grind size. Reduce grind size to 25. Okay. Okay, 25. All right. Again, the lights are so nice in here. I can see the puck beautifully. 19.5 grams. So here's the thing too. Because it's a finer grind, you can fit more in there. So 19.5, that's quite a load. There we go. Cold brew espresso. Okay, so it's extracting right around 50 degrees there, Celsius, and you can see I didn't get very much in there, only 18 grams, so that's like a 1-to-1 ratio there. That is something I've noticed with this machine, is that the barista guidance is not that good. It ground too fine, and because of the inconsistency of the grinder, it put too much in there. So 19.5 grams ground that fine, even though it's a cold espresso, still it was too fine. So anyhow, it's actually decent. It's very pungent. I've tried it before, cold espresso, cold coffee, tastes actually pretty good, but I'm more of a hot drink kind of guy anyway. So if we have a look in the menu, there's a whole bunch more drinks that you can try. So they've got cappuccino, latte, flat white, got the cold brew, cold espresso, you got an espresso martini. So what they do is they'll give you recipes here and tell you how to do it. They've got an espresso shakerado, and so on and so forth. Now I'm looking at tea, and oftentimes something that people ask is how hot does a water get for tea? I've measured it generally to be 90 degrees. If I have it set on the hot temperature, yeah, see right there we're at 90.1. 92, 90. So it kind of oscillates right around 90. Now I've also made coffee cremas with this one. What is the barista guidance going to tell me on that? It says go up to 36. Okay, so let's go up to 36 and make ourselves a coffee crema. All right, let's stick that in there. See what the coffee crema looks like. I'm gonna aim for a medium, which should be 150 milliliters. So let's do medium and go. That's looking pretty good actually. That's looking like a real coffee crema. Ton of crema in there. So what we're gonna do next, by the way, to kind of close out the video, is people often ask, can the grinder handle light roast beans? I've got something that's certainly on the lighter side of medium. It's not super light, but it's pretty light. And so I'm gonna try to grind that up next and just see if the grinder has any issues with that or not. You can see here by the progress wheel that it would keep going. I'm actually over 150 milliliters now. I'm gonna stop it. It probably would have gone for another, I don't know, 10 seconds at least. So to be honest, the volumetric dosing is not that accurate, but I have not seen volumetric dosing accurate really on any machine except for the Ninja Luxe Cafe. That one is relatively accurate, the most I've seen so far. That's my favorite way to wake up in the morning, is to a coffee crema. So it's a nice thing that this machine, actually bring some sweetness out, that this machine is able to do that. So you can do your espresso drinks, you can do your coffee crema, you can do your tea, you can do babyccino. It's a very versatile machine. And with that being said, Thank you for sticking around this far into the video if you had. I know this is going to be a very long video, but I gotta show the features of the machine. Anyway, if you have stuck around this far, please do me a favor and write #OracleJet in the comments. Let's switch beans to a lighter roast and see how the grinder copes with that. So let's purge the rest of the old ones out. Let's also go back down to an espresso grind. All right, so I'm gonna put these beans in there. These are relatively light. These are much harder to hand grind, for example. You really notice when you're hand grinding if it's something lighter. You'll also notice if you take one and try to squish it, how much of it you can actually squish. So it's hard. I can't even hardly break that one. And darker roast you can break real easy. I got that tip from Aramze. Somebody asked, by the way, the diameter of this guy. The diameter is 17 centimeters here on the bean hopper. Let's go ahead and see what happens. I mean, to me, it didn't sound like it struggled at all. But once in a while, what you will get, and I don't know what causes this, but once in a while, you're going to get a puck that doesn't get totally tamped and polished. Really don't know why that is. Smells good. That happens to me maybe once in 20 times that I get a puck. For some reason, it doesn't finish it. And with that being the case, you know what? Let's just move on to pros and cons. Let's talk about, is this machine worth it or not? Because that's what a lot of people want to know. This machine is expensive, $2,000 for this machine. So is the machine worth $2,000? I'll say this, I had to do a lot of adjustments to get the dose amount that I wanted, to reduce that from 22 down to 18 grams. That was really kind of a pain, and I made a video about it, and that's coming up. Second thing is, the automatic milk frothing does not make microfoam, at least not for me, and that's unfortunate. Third point is, on the inside, it's a regular machine on the inside. You've still got the same kind of lines inside as like what you got on any kind of thermoblock machine. So we're gonna take a look on the inside in just a moment, but with those things taken into consideration, it's pretty much on the expensive side in my opinion. And I mean, if you really like the touch screen and the automatic puck prep, I mean, I really do appreciate that a lot. You know, I'd pay quite a bit for the automatic puck prep, but in my opinion, I do prefer just buttons, right? I don't really like to have to search throughout the menu. Like if I was on espresso and I decide, oh, but I want to do some milk, I have to go back out of espresso. I have to switch over to coffee drink, tap on it, and then I can tap on the icon. I would prefer just a button here for manual milk steaming, but that's me. A button here just to start the extraction. And also I would like it if I could start the grind whenever I want. But you can't, because if you're on the main screen like this, it won't start. So you have to select the drink first. So I think maybe this machine is designed and kind of marketed at younger people who are really used to using touchscreens a lot and really appreciate them. I'm kind of more of a haptic guy. I like buttons. I suppose what we could do is let's just pull a really quick shot, 90. We're gonna turn up to 95 degrees and just see how does it do for a lighter roast. You see there, it just told me to turn it down to 17 because I did a coffee crema before. 17. I mean, I wouldn't get anything out of there if I was grinding at 17. So the barista guidance on this machine, take it with a grain of salt. It has not worked that good for me. So this was just a guess on the grind, by the way. It looks pretty good. I mean, I got a just about 1.7 or 2 milliliters per second. So that's kind of what you're looking for the flow. All right, 40 grams. That's a good one. Although it's a lighter roast, it's not sour. It does bring out that pleasant acidity. Yeah, that's nice. I get something reminiscent of, I don't know, a berry marmalade a little bit. And actually a tinge of dark chocolate, which is a little unusual for this bean. But that's a tasty shot. And again, that's something I want to reiterate. This machine can make extremely tasty shots, but in my experience, not right out of the gate. You gotta make several shots. So maybe just run 3 empty shots, you know, just run water through the portafilter, make sure it's nice and heated up. Make sure all the paths inside, because there's a pretty long path from the heater all the way up here to the brew group. Make sure that's all heated up. And with that being said, talking about this path, let's take a look inside.
Alright, having a look on the inside of the Oracle Jet, what do we see? We've got a grinder, we've got the motor for the tamping and the leveling. Here we've got the brew group with the new thermojet right here. We've got the steam wand right here. We've got 1, 2, 3 solenoid valves. Back here we've got some kind of PCB. Here is where the water flows through the tunnel, and down here into the water tank in the back. Now let's take a little bit of a closer look at what we got going on. So if we have a look right here, what we got are some, looks like braided lines going to the brew group, and this one going off through the solenoid and probably down here into the drip tray.
I'm not totally sure, but these high pressure lines might be Teflon.
This one is going to the water spout. This one is going to the steam wand. And what you'll notice is that the connectors on these guys that you see here and here, these are metal crimp connectors that are like one-time use. So that is not the easiest for repair. So there's the new thermojet, which is right here on the middle of the brew group, basically right above the shower screen. Here is the PID thermal probe that comes off of there. Right here, we've got the motor for the distributing, for the leveling, and for the tamping. And what's quite interesting is if we look right here, this is the adjustment knob for the grinder. So what you'll notice here is when you adjust it, it is connected to this tooth belt, which is connected to this rod, which is connected to this gear, which turns basically the ribs here on the grinder assembly in order to adjust the grind. So that's pretty neat. And here this gear is probably attached to an encoder so that the machine knows where the grind is at. In the back, it seems to be that this is probably where the control board is, behind this plastic housing. You'll notice that the metal housing is grounded in various places. And so that is a brief overview of the inside of the brand new Oracle Jet.
All right, guys, so now it's up to you. What do you think about this machine? What do you think about the automatic puck prep? What do you think about the ergonomics, the haptics, using the touchscreen versus buttons? What do you think about the components used inside the machine? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, until next time, I say happy coffee drinking, happy espresso drinking, and I hope you have a good one. Bye now.